Hey everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to another episode of Easy Tiki Drinks. Today on the channel we're going to be taking a look at our final cocktail in our exploration of Justin Wojslaw's signature cocktails. Today we're going to be talking about a cocktail that probably has one of the most infamous names ever. Today we're going to be making the Cherry Blossom, so let's do this. So as most of you know, over the last few weeks, I have been doing an exploration into Justin Wojslaw's original cocktails. And we've done a ton of them. We did the Tropical Thunder, we did the Black Orchid, we did the High Tide Boogie, right? Inspired by High Tide recordings. And I'll leave all the links in the comment below of all the other ones that we've done of his. But today on the channel, we're gonna be making one of Justin's most infamous cocktails. Actually, it may be one of the more infamous cocktails in general. And that's because nobody can figure out why it's named what it's named, because it looks nothing like what it's named. Today we're going to be making the Cherry Blossom, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you the story of where the name came from. So let's see what we're going to need to make this cocktail. First, we're going to need a lightly aged rum. We need a blue Curacao. We're going to need cinnamon syrup, coconut syrup or cream of coconut, depending upon how you phrase it. We're gonna need pineapple juice and lime juice. The lightly aged rum I'm using is Plantation 3-Star. The blue Curacao is Drillard, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. The cinnamon syrup and coconut cream or cream of coconut are homemade. The pineapple juice and lime juice are fresh squeezed. Give me a second to rearrange this. So, before I go into the story of where the name came from, because I'm sure all of you are dying to know, let's make this, let's sip on it. I've never actually made this cocktail. Honestly, I've never had blue Curacao in my bar before. I find it, I don't know, I'm torn. I have really deep feelings about blue Curacao. It reminds me of college, first of all, and like not good drinking experiences. And like, it's artificially colored orange Curacao, like, why even have it? Sure, I get it. It adds color, it adds effect, it makes sense. I've always been hesitant to buy it, but lately, more and more cocktails that I want to make keep coming up with it, so I was like, all right, let's go buy a bottle. I bought a bottle today. This is a brand new bottle. I just opened it, so I've never shaken this cocktail up before, so we're gonna be trying this together. I hope you're as excited as I am because I have really high hopes for this cocktail. All right, so first we're gonna need 3/4 of an ounce of our lime juice. We're gonna need an ounce of our pineapple juice. We need 1/2 ounce of our cinnamon syrup. We need a full ounce of our cream of coconut. Now you've heard me reference this as coconut cream, coconut syrup, cream of coconut. There is a difference. I've talked about this before. Cream of coconut is coconut cream sweetened with sugar. I tend to call it just coconut syrup. The way I make mine is from Smuggler's Cove recipe, and it is basically coconut milk, like the Thai coconut milk that you get in the grocery store in like the red can, cut with simple syrup. So that's how I make mine. It does separate in the fridge, but a quick shake will blend it right back up. And it's not like chunky like Coco Lopez, which is the standard and go-to at the bars that I work at. We do use Coco Lopez, so it's perfectly fine if you want to go with Coco Lopez. Although I do recommend after you open it, put it in a blender, smooth it out a little bit because it does definitely coagulate. But anyway, coconut syrup is what I'm calling this, for lack of a better term. We need a full ounce of our coconut syrup. We're gonna need half an ounce of our blue Curacao. At least the blue Curacao I bought comes with a cork. This is Drollard. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I was looking for Giffard, which is kind of like the gold standard for blue Curacao. However, apparently no store within like 100 miles carries it. So I went with Drollard from Total Wines because I could get it. So we're gonna need half an ounce of our blue Curacao. And then we're gonna need an ounce and a half of our lightly aged rum. Now I'm using Plantation 3-Star, and I asked Justin, what would he recommend? He said Plantation 3-Star is great, Cruzan is actually also great, or Don Q Silver is what he recommends. So basically what we're looking for is we're looking for a more middle of the road, kind of like column still, crisp tasting white rum or lightly aged rum. So I wouldn't recommend something like a Hamilton White Stash, a Privateer White, or a Probitas, because they're gonna have more flavor, more body, and that doesn't seem to be what Justin's going for in this cocktail. So we need an ounce and a half of our lightly aged rum. All right, we're gonna grab our big mixing tin. We're gonna add some ice to this. I'm gonna pour in our cocktail, give it a nice little whack, and then we're gonna whip shake. This time we're gonna whip shake for a little bit longer. We're gonna go for about 8 to 10 seconds because we do have that pineapple juice in there. We want it to froth up and aerate really, really nice. All right. So originally Justin calls for a hurricane glass. The hurricane glasses I have are huge format. Like, this cocktail would look minuscule in it. So I'm grabbing a footed Pilsner instead, which is more along the lines of the volume of a traditional hurricane glass that Justin would use. Crack this bad boy open, and we're gonna open pour in, and man, this color is something. All right, we're gonna grab some more ice. Just a little more. All right, for a garnish, first Justin calls for a lime wheel. Again, I don't typically have fresh fruit on hand for garnish, so I'm gonna skip that. But he does also call for a mint sprig and a cinnamon stick, both of which I have. So we're gonna grab our mint right here, give it a nice little whack to wake it up. Our little cinnamon stick. All right, don't forget your straw. Which, by the way, all the straws that I use on this channel are Surfside Sip straws. If you do want to purchase your own, Andrew has opened the website back up. He's caught up, so you can purchase Surfside Sips now. And there's a link in the comments in the description below for 20% off your first order if you want to buy your own. And there you have it, Justin Wojslaw's Cherry Blossom. Let's give it a try. All right, so this is not what I was expecting. As I mentioned, this is a first shake for me. I've never done it before. I wasn't expecting the flavor profile of this cocktail. Even looking at the ingredients, I didn't think they were gonna combine the way that they did, which is kind of on par for Justin's cocktails. But either way, let's talk about where the name came from, talk about how I feel about this cocktail, and my thoughts on the tasting notes. First of all, this color is beautiful. It is a like milky, pale blue. It literally looks like an ocean, which is weird because the name also has nothing to do with the ocean. It's called a cherry blossom. Cherry blossoms are white. This is clearly blue. So where did the name come from? Well, there's a shoe brand. Yes, the name of this cocktail is inspired by a shoe. It's insane. But that's the story. I'm dead serious. Reach out to Justin. Go send him a message. Golden Era Tropicals on Instagram and ask him if my story, if my facts are correct, because I guarantee you this is it. This is the story for this cocktail. There is a shoe called the Cherry Blossom, and it's made by a shoe company called Lucky Lou Shoes. Basically, they're hand-carved wedges. Most of my audience is male. I'm gonna say wedge. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Basically, it's a heel, but instead of a single stiletto, it's like the full piece, the full triangle. That's what a wedge is. For those of you guys that don't know, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. You're welcome. Anyway, there is a shoe that Lucky Lou does that's called the Cherry Blossom, and the wedge is carved with cherry blossoms. Now, at the same point, the leather straps that they use come in varying colors, and they happen to have a color called turquoise. When Justin saw this shoe, it was the Cherry Blossom wedge with the turquoise strap, and he said, that is the exact same color as the cocktail that I just created. I'm gonna call this the Cherry Blossom. And that's where the name comes from. It's not inspired by the tree, it's inspired by a shoe, specifically the leather strap on that shoe. Yeah, I was blown away as well. But I'm also more blown away by the flavor profile of this cocktail. It is smooth, it is sweet, the cinnamon comes through, the pineapple comes through, and the coconut is present, but not overpowering. Overall, this is a really well-balanced cocktail, and the way I kind of equate this is, think about like your classic boat drinks, right? That are blue, overly sugared, and just full of cheap booze. This is kind of like that version, but modernized and way better. That cinnamon syrup is doing a lot of work to help cut through the sweetness that we would get from the blue curacao and the coconut cream, or coconut syrup, my apologies. Either way, this is a great cocktail, not only in presentation, but in taste. So there's the story behind the Cherry Blossom. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that little notification bell. Follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at Easy Tiki Drinks. And who do you want to see next? Like, I've been doing, you know, a couple modern bartenders. I did Jason Alexander. I've now done Justin. I don't know. You guys tell me. Leave a comment below. Would you like me to do more modern cocktails, and who would you like me to spotlight? Because I'll be more than happy to do it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, take it easy.